Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. In the previous episode, we finally took a look at what was on the discs. That was, or at least one of the discs, that was with the, with Green Winters. Discovering that the Feuerschwing may very well be what is beneath the manor where we lost Monica, and that we need to find Dr. Adrian Vauclair in order to help take her down. But in order to do that, we need 50,000 new yen in order to pay Alice to find her, which means we gotta do our jobs as Shadowrunners. Alright, let's see what everybody else has to say. Talia, need something? Everything still okay with you? You never need to worry about me, Talia. I'm fine. I'd still like to know more about the chrome you're sporting. It's not a story that I'm interested in telling out of context. If you really want to get into it, we're going to need to go back. Way back. She stares at you with her cold, dead eyes. I'm not sure that you want to do that. You say that you'll give me answers when we talk about your past, so let's talk about it. Why do you care? There's no hostility in her voice. If anything, she sounds suspicious. Because I'm the leader of this team, and I need to know as much as I can about the runners who are working with me. She pauses for a moment, considering, then she nods. Alright, fine, we can talk. But we're doing it on my terms. This is a long story, Talia. Long and ugly and cruel. Are you sure you want to hear this? Please. Alright, I'm going to start at the beginning. Not for you, for me. I guess that it might help me to say all of this out loud. She takes a deep breath, then slowly releases it. When she speaks, her voice comes out in a cool monotone. My family lived in Stuttgart. It was a nice enough place, I suppose. My parents worked as wage slaves for the IFMU. My mom was a good person. Once upon a time, my father was a decent person as well. That's what my mom always told me, but I never knew him that way. She pauses for a long moment. When she begins speaking again, some of the ice has fallen away from her voice. For the first time since you met her, Glory sounds alive. The dad that I knew was an old, damaged Euro War vet who turned to a hardline religion to make sense of the world. In Stuttgart, that meant either the Ritterkreist, Christi, or their fascist cousins, the Kreuzritters. My father chose the latter path. I still remember hiding in my room when my father had his Kreuzritter brothers over for prayer group. They would drink and get rowdy and spend an hour or two riling themselves up with talk about heretics and the devil's work. Then they'd go find some poor elf or dwarf, stomp the living shit out of him, and drown him in the Neckar. Meanwhile, I'd be holed up at home with Mom, who would commemorate the event by drinking a bottle of wine and crying herself to sleep. I'd like to get my hands on your dad and his crusaders, see how they like pushing someone who can push back. It's a common sentiment, believe me, but I appreciate the thought. Anyway, aside from the fact that my dad and his buddies were a bunch of murderous assholes, life was pretty normal. I went to school, made friends, hung out with my mom, kid stuff. Then I turned 14, and everything went to shit. Glory pauses, then swallows hard. Ever so slightly. Her cheeks flush red. Suddenly she looks self-conscious, as if she just snapped out of a trance. As quickly as it came, the flush of emotion disappears. Her voice frosts over. I don't want to talk about this anymore. You don't need to say anything that you don't want to. If you ever want to talk, you know where to find me. Thank you for understanding. Glory stares at you through cold, dead eyes. Now, let's get back to the job at hand, shall we? Do not push her. If she wants to stop, let her stop. She will open up to you. Just give her time. Anyways, let's talk to Iger. This isn't the best of times. Come back later if you want to talk. Fair enough. We're actually not going to talk to Dietrich just yet. Instead, we're going to head out into the Kreuzpassar. Well, actually, no. We're going to talk to Blitz. See if he's got anything to say. Any thoughts on the last run? Nah, nothing we already talked about. Okay. Alright, nothing to talk about there. So, we're gonna head out, and we're gonna talk to the people around the Kreuzbazaar, because, well, they might have things to say to us. We know Samuel does. Hello again, mein Freundin. What can I do for you? I heard you wanted to talk about a job. Yes. Yes, I do. Thank you for coming so promptly. He takes a deep breath, slowly releases it, and looks you in the eye. Tell me, what do you know about the Humanist Pulley Club? They're an anti-meta-human hate group. He nods. The largest and most well-funded of its kind. The instigators of the Night of Rage, and the enemy of everything that I stand for. Night of Rage? A worldwide race riot that took place in February of 2039. Thousands of innocent metahumans were attacked, beaten, and killed. Women and children were corralled into warehouses for protection, and then burned alive when the structures were put to the torch. This is what Humanist stands for. This is the agenda that its leaders strive to advance. They will not be satisfied until all metahumans, everywhere, are driven from the face of the earth. Okay, if you wanna... No? Disgusting. And this job of yours has something to do with Humanus? He nods. Yesterday I overheard one of my assistants talking on his comm. He was yelling, clearly agitated. I questioned him and he confided in me. What he told me made my blood run cold. Let me guess where this is going. Humanus is planning something. An attack of some kind. He nods. Yes, I believe so. The Berlin chapter of Humanus has arranged to acquire a large shipment of an extremely hazardous chemical. Their leader, Volker Stahl, is a vicious ideologue. It goes without saying that whatever he intends to do, it won't be good for us. I want you to infiltrate the smuggling operation that is delivering the shipment. Once you arrive at the Humanus compound, you will find out what they're planning to do with the chemical and put a stop to it. What makes you think they'll talk to me? I'm no more human than you are. Many of the smugglers are metahumans. If you travel with them, Humanus will allow you into their compound. The rest will be up to you. Why would Humanus deal with a metahuman-run operation? Presumably because they're the best option available. Stahl is nothing if not a pragmatist. He will work with metahumans when it suits him to do so. When he's finished with them, he'll discard them and move on. Wouldn't it be easier to just hijack the shipment? Why allow it to get to the Humanus compound at all? He shakes his head. No, stopping the shipment would not stop Humanus. It would merely acquire another. For a pack of snarling racists, they are extremely well funded. Alright, let's talk compensation. What does this gig pay? With the etiquette socialite, you can demand more money. But A, I don't have it. B, I'm not that kind of person. So I'll take the 22,000. I have contacted sister organizations across Berlin and have taken up collection. Between us, we have raised 22,000 Nuyen as a payment. According to the guide, which may or may not be inaccurate, you know, because patches do change things, it could get you an extra 500, which really not worth it to get on his bad side for that. I trust that this will be sufficient. I'll do it. Count me in. He nods. Excellent. I am relieved. I will make arrangements for your meeting with the smugglers. Their leader is an elf who calls himself Maxim. Take the U-Bahn to Schottennest and you will find him waiting there. Best of luck to you, Talia, and good hunting. Know that you are doing a great thing for the metahumans of Berlin. Your efforts will not go unrecognized. Okay. That's pretty much going to be our next thing, but like I said, we're going to want to talk to people around. Nope, didn't mean to bother you. Yeah, looks like the regulars don't really have anything else to say. I will talk to this guy, because I know for a fact we can get a mission from him. Welcome back. No, nothing really new here. No new outfits, so moving on. This guy's new. Hey buddy, sorry to bother you, but I could use some help over here. You want to make a little extra scratch? Shouldn't take you long. Sure, what's the problem? Well, me and my buddy Victor got called in from the next Kia's over. Something's wrong with the sewers around here. Your local plumbers and mechanics are all useless. Vic and I talked to them, tried to get them to give us the maintenance schedule for your sewer pumps. They scratched their heads at us, said that the machinery down there just took care of itself. My best guess is that your pumps have shut down, happens from time to time without proper maintenance. When the pumps shut down, the waste starts piling up, and it's causing some pretty major overflow problems downstream. And what do you want me to do about it? Well, Victor went down into the sewers while I was getting stuff out of the truck. When I came back, well, I was about to climb down there, but I heard these awful screams. They went on, and then they just stopped. I froze up. Nearly shit myself, to be honest. I don't know what to do, but I can't go down there. Not after that. The problem is probably something basic, a clog that needs to be cleared, something like that. Restarting the pumps should take care of it, but no goddamn way am I going down there, going down in there. If you'll do the job for me, I'll give you the new yen we were paid for it. I don't need it, you can have it all. I can live without the money, but somebody's got to fix those pumps before I can leave. How much we talking here? 500 for a job this quick. It's good money. Fine, I'll do it. You're a lifesaver, chummer. If you find Victor, well, if he's still alive down there, tell him I'm sorry. Sure, I can do that, but not yet. Let's see. Now we also need to head back to the cafe and talk to that guy that was available to us. That guy who was requesting us for a trial run. Luka Doer. So, you're Talia, eh? The late Monica Schaefer's replacement. He looks you up and down, then nods. Good. You look the part. Let me get right to business. My organization would like to retain your services for the indefinite future, but first, we're asking you to go on a trial run. An audition of sorts to prove that you're the right woman for the job. Assuming you complete this trial to our satisfaction, I will then offer you a variety of simple tasks. All of these should be achievable in the course of your everyday business. You won't need to go out of your way to expose yourself to much unnecessary risk. For each task that you complete, you will be rewarded handsomely, and there will be a bonus if you finish them all. So, have I piqued your interests? Who do you work for? How did you know where to find me? My organization knows everything worth knowing in Germany, including this small pond that is Berlin. It is in our best interests, however, to remain unknown to the world at large. For the time being, that is all you need to know. What does this audition pay? I can offer you 1,500 new yen, but only if you complete the full audition, the run, and post-run interview to our satisfaction. If you fail to perform to our expectations, you will receive no pay and no further offers of work. That isn't much. It's an audition. The purpose of this trial is for you to prove your worth to us, not the other way around. Of course, you're free to decline if you wish, but know that there are hundreds of runners in Berlin who would kill for the opportunity to work for us. We came to you because we think that we see a glimmer of potential. If you prove us wrong, we will happily take our offer elsewhere. Yeah, I'm in. Good. Very good. Now, on to the task at hand. There is a man named Ailshire. He is a senior manager at Hermes Eurocom and a respected figure in his community. My organization also suspects him of working with pro-corporate extremists. These people are actively working to undermine the Flux State and pave the way for a corporate-controlled Berlin. My organization has no more desire to see Berlin fall to the corporations than you do. However, we are hesitant to act on our suspicions without proof. This is where you come in. So you want me to spy on him, then? Not directly, no, but we do need you to place him under surveillance. You will meet with a team that I've arranged for you, and with their assistance, you will plant listening devices in his apartment. Take the U-Bahn to Frankfurter Tor and go alone. The rest of your team will meet you there. Hang on a second, I already have a team. Yes, you do, but they are unsuitable for this job. Remember, this is a test of your abilities, not Iger's or Glory's or Dietrich's. How do you know their names? The same way that I knew yours. We will complete this trial with the team that I have assembled, or not at all. It's important for us to know that you're willing to work within these limitations. So, will you work within the boundaries that I have described, or will you turn down an opportunity that your fellow runners would kill for? Fine. Very good. The moment that you board the train to Frankenfurter Tor, your test will begin. I would advise that you to bring what you need in terms of medical supplies and ordnance. Once you embark on your trial run, there will be no turning back. After you have planted the devices and verified that they work, come back to me. There will be a brief interview, a post-mortem on the run, if you like, and assuming that I am satisfied with what I hear, I will pay you your first stipend. Then we will discuss our future options. Best of luck, Talia. We will be watching. So, I'm not going to be taking care of this, which kind of locks us out of some things. These guys are basically what's known as the Lodge, and if you complete their run to their satisfaction, then you will receive tasks that happen within other missions. Tasks that I don't like. I will be doing the trial run, just differently than they're expecting. Sorry to spoil that for you, but we're also not going to be tackling it first anyways. Just browsing. Alright, so we won't be getting our drone back yet. Now then, before we depart on any mission, we're going to want to talk to Dietrich. Who isn't here? Well, my honest guess is that he's going to show up at the U-Bahn station. Because he actually has a connection to one of our missions. Yeah, there he is. A lone figure stands at the U-Bahn station. Dietrich. He raises a bottle at your approach, then tosses it away. Figured I'd run into you here, boss. Wanted to make sure that I caught you before you headed off. He takes a deep breath, then slowly releases it. Looks you in the eye. Talia, we need to talk about this Humanus gig. Go ahead, Dietrich. I'm listening. Well, I've got a history with Humanus. I fought him back in 39, during the Night of Rage. Hell of a thing that was. I remember the terror, the senseless violence. Murdered children. I remember this little dwarf boy. He stuffed his body in the gutter, Talia. I can still see his face, all bruised and broken. To this day it makes my blood boil. Anyway, long story short, we beat him. Berlin's punks and anarchists all came together, and we stomped the living dreck out of those racist pigs. A lot of good people died that night, but we put down some of the bad ones too. Let me guess, you want to come on this Humanus run so you can finish the job. That's part of it, sure, but it's not the whole story. I don't just want to come on this run, boss. I have to come. It's my nephew, Alexander. He's signed on with Humanus, driven to it by his worthless sack of a dad, no doubt. I take it his father, your brother, is a Humanus member too? Nah, that'd take a level of conviction and quality that he thoroughly lacks. My best guess is that he's treating Humanus as a boarding school. They feed and house their recruits, and that's money that he'd rather spend on himself. So he dumped the boy off on them, never mind the fact that they're fascist swine. Dietrich looks you in the eye. I've got to get Alexander out of there, Talia, before it's too late. Those monsters are experts at warping young minds. It's how their disgusting ideology propagates. So I'm asking you, as a personal favor, to let me come along on the run. I have to get into that compound, Talia. I have to find Alexander. I have to turn him around before those animals make him do something unforgivable. Of course, Dietrich, I wouldn't keep you from something like this. Thanks, boss. Never doubted you'd bring me, of course. You're too good of a woman for that. But it's good to hear it all the same. Yeah, and with that, let's board the train for Humanus. Humanus Pulley Club compound. In addition to your team, your fixer has access to a small network of mercenaries in the Berlin area. These runners appear below your core team on the runner's selection screen and can be hired on a mission-to-mission basis. As you complete missions, both your team and the available mercenaries will periodically gain access to new equipment and abilities. Any new items, spells, weapons, or weapon abilities that a runner gains will automatically be available for use the next time you take them on a mission. Yes, you can bring your team, but you also have access to other mercenaries like Lucky Strike, Pumlick, Nixie, Unlure, Akano. But why would you? For starters, it costs you money to bring them along, money that you then can't spend on yourself. Your team, however, costs nothing. Not only that, but they're part of your team. You're working with them throughout the entire game. Why wouldn't you bring them with? Besides, these guys might be interesting, but really, we don't need them. Now, there is one problem with your own personal team. Assuming you brought Blitz along, which you should no matter what, you're only going to have space for 3 additional runners, which means one person is going to get left behind, and more often than not, it's going to be somebody you don't really need. If you go for the whole Shaman Mage thing, you're probably never going to need Dietrich. If you are a Decker/Rigger, you're probably never going to bring Blitz along. If you're a melee-based with combat medic skills, you're probably never going to bring Glory along. Or in my case, if you're a long-ranged, or rather just a gunner-based street samurai, you're probably never going to bring Iger along, unless you have to. Though, thankfully, you don't have to bring your team members along in order for them to gain skills, so not too big of a deal. In this case, we are most certainly bringing Dietrich, because we have to. We're going to bring Blitz, because having a Decker is always useful, and we're going to bring Glory. With that, we are pretty much good to go. You can rearrange their items and whatnot if you need to, but I really don't, so I'm gonna get moving. Can't change up their cyberware. That is one thing you cannot do, or their skills. So you're about to travel to Schottenest. Continue? Yep. The U-Bahn rattles to a halt at the edge of the Kreuzberg. You're only a few blocks away from Schottenest, the Kiez that Maxim and his smugglers call home. According to Samuel, they should be expecting you. Okay, now you can change up gear should you need to, but really, I don't think we need to. I'd say we're good with what we've got. I really wish I could find a way to sell off some of this stuff that I don't need. But whatever. Just gonna stick with my AK-74. Look, boss, I just wanted to thank you for bringing me along on this one. It means a lot. Hey, don't sweat it. Even Shadowrunners have families. He nods. Alexander, he's a good kid, you know. If I'd been there for him, if I hadn't run off to Berlin, left him with his worthless sack of a dad, he'd never have fallen in with those humanist pigs in the first place. The expression on Dietrich's face softens and he claps you on the shoulder. Let's go find my nephew, and let's crack all the humanist skulls we can along the way. Those effers have it coming in more ways than I can count. Agreed. Food cart vendor, huh? Guten Tag, what do you have? Nah, I'm good. Now then, what do we have here? A phone booth. Searching the dead drop, you find a package with the telltale markings of Schockenwellenreiter. Humanist. This is an open request for information on current and past donors to the Humanist Pulley Club. Identifying information such as home addresses and photographs is preferred. The presence of this hate group and its supporters will no longer be tolerated within our community. We will expose them to the harsh light of truth. The timely delivery of this information will be well rewarded. Freedom, equality, information, Schockenwellenreiter. Okay. Well, let's talk to the gatekeeper. A rough-looking dwarf with a fire plug build holds out his hand at your approach. Fire plug? Whoa there, Beanpole. I don't know where you think you're headed, but you should turn around and go back the way you came. I've got business on the other side of your barricade, one way or the other. That's where I'm going. He stares at you with an appraising look in his eye. Well, you look like you can handle yourself. But still, I'm telling you, the people out there are bad news. There are gangs on the other side of this barricade who'd skin you alive as soon as look at you. Look, I don't have a choice. I need to get out there. If I don't, some punk gangs are going to be the least of my problems. He shakes his head. Alright, fine. If that's really what you want, we won't try to stop you. He gestures to the troll standing behind him. Let him by, Sergey. Shot nest. Okay. Well, there's our guy Maxim. The figure at the center of the group shoots you an insolent glance. His fine elvish features match Samuel's description. This must be Maxim, your smuggler liaison. Well, well, if it isn't the muscle that Tuck promised us. Look who it is, everybody. The new hires have elected to grace us with their presence. Nice of you to join us. He glances at his PDA on his wrist, then looks back up at you. When he speaks again, his voice is sharp and humorless. You're late, chummer. I'm here. That's all that matters. He lets out a theatrical sigh. Well, you come highly recommended, so I suppose I'll overlook it. If we run into trouble, you'll be glad to have me around. I guarantee it. His mouth twists up into a smirk. I certainly hope so, for your sake. Without another word, he turns and slaps the side of the Bulldog's step van. A second van of the same design rumbles a few feet away. Pile in, people, and be ready. There's rough country between us and the meeting site. We might run into trouble along the way. Alright. And by might, we're going to. 20 minutes into your trip, the van comes to a screeching halt. Maxim presses his face to the passenger window. From the mix of anger and dread on his face, you can tell that he doesn't like what he sees. Damn it, I knew this was going to happen. I effing knew it. He cranes his neck around to look at you in the eyes. Everybody pile out of the van, and get ready, Talia. We're going to need some muscle in a second. As you take your position outside the van, you hear a shrill voice bark out an order. A pair of portable gun turrets begins to self-calibrate in response. Sweeping your gaze over the gangers assembled before you, you identify the owner of the voice, a leathery woman with wild hair and a mirthless smile. She calls out, her voice brimming with pride. Hello out there! Welcome to Rambach territory. The Maxim licks his lips, his eyes scanning over the gangers' hastily assembled roadblock. This Kies belongs to Surf Turf, slag. Has for months. You better clear on out of your way before they show up and force you out. Surf Turf? Those tunnel rats? They're ancient history. Go ahead and call them if you don't believe me. Her face twists into an ugly smile. Scream as loud as you want. They won't hear you. We buried them last week. Maxim's expression turns stony, but his voice remains calm. Congratulations on your victory. You must have taken some losses in the fight, though. I'm betting you're not at 100%. Why don't you let us cross the bridge in peace? There's no need for any bloodshed tonight. You know what? You're absolutely right. We don't need to fight. You just pay us a small toll, and we'll be more than happy to let you cross our bridge. I'm thinking, say, 500 nuyen per van? Otherwise, you'd better find another way to get where you're going, because this bridge is ours, and nobody crosses without paying the toll. Nobody. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe this does need to get violent. Maxim turns to you. You're ready to ventilate these assholes, Talia. We've got a schedule to keep. Look, let's be smart about this. Nobody wants a firefight today. Good. That's a real good idea, pal. Ganger boss jeers at Maxim. See that? Your muscle is smarter than you are. You should put her in charge. Let's see. Damn. Maxim wheels around to face you, his face a mask of fury. His voice explodes out in a harsh whisper. Quiet the fuck down. You don't speak for me, and you don't speak for this organization. Crap. Let's see. I got no karma to spend. Not that I can do it while in a conversation. Well, we could have bypassed the fight with the etiquette of gang, a willpower of 3. We can also use charisma to lower the amount to bypass, but, fine, my mistake. Goddamn right it is. Now, you gonna help us take these punks down or not? Well, looks like we got no choice but to fight. Yeah, we've got you covered. Good. Maxim's voice comes out in a roar. Take him down, boys! Open fire! Okay, we got somebody ambushing us. We are going to want to keep everybody alive so that we can get through this. We do have allies on our side that will help us. So we're not just fighting alone. We are out of time for this episode, but I'm just going to have to get through this fight. Let's see, I can go for a full auto. Ooh. I could also go for a single shot against those barrels. That'll do some damage. Serious damage. Hell yeah. Boom, that took care of that. Blitz. Oh boy. Not a whole lot of cover for us to work with that don't involve just running right up to them. But we're gonna have to go for it. Not good enough to kill. But I can go after her. Oh, I was using a pistol. Crap. Missed both shots. We got more enemies turning up. No biggie. We are going to want to try and keep everybody alive. At least as best as we can. Unfortunately, the neutral AI ain't the smartest. Maxim's definitely the big one we need to keep alive. Okay, as for myself... You know, let's take care of these auto turrets so that they're no longer a problem. I was really hoping I'd hit that one. Let's see. One unbalanced. Yeah, that doesn't help me. Okay, Blitz. Okay, go for the auto turret, because you're guaranteed to hit it. Take out the Ganger Mage. And then Glory, who I'm going to switch back to her blades, is going to take out the Ganger Thug. There we go. Still got a few more, including a Shaman who just summoned. So be it. Don't need to worry about taking out the Spirit itself. If we can take out... Ouch. I might want to consider healing her. Meanwhile, Maxim's just being rather cowardly. Okay. Oof. I should probably have Dietrich heal her. Again, I'm not sure if we need to keep everybody or just Maximum alive, but hey. Doesn't hurt to be sure. Now, I am going to use my full auto fire. It reduces my chance to hit by 10%, but it's not really gonna matter. Because that's calculated for each shot, not for total. Blitz, you get over here, start gunning this guy down. Almost got him. Glory can't reach him. And her line of sight is blocked from that side. Come on. Damn it. Ooh. Killed his own friend. Well, that's not my fault. Okay. Well, that's one down. I don't think I need full auto for this guy. Although aiming probably would have been a good idea. Nothing I can do with Blitz, but just move him up into cover. Honestly, I feel like it's a little too late to start using the adrenaline pump for glory. Yeah, sure, getting closer when you're nearly dead. That's the smart thing to do. Okay, go for an aim shot against her. Blitz. You reload. And you also go for an aim shot against her. Good. D-Trick. You give +1 AP to Glory, so that she can then run in and start slicing this guy up. See, twin slashes, hit adjacent targets. Now go for the compound attack. Okay, now no matter how you get through that, you will get 3 karma. But you're going to want to keep Max alive, because you can get an extra karma for getting him through this. Maxim wipes his face with a handkerchief. The cloth comes away wet with blood-streaked sweat. Oh, that was unpleasant. All part of the job, though, eh? You tell me. You're the big-time smuggler. I'm just hired muscle, remember? Yeah, well, trust me, it happens. I'm just glad that I had you here to cover me. Always good to have a competent woman at your back. Maxim pauses for a moment before continuing. I gotta admit, Talia, this attack has made me nervous. We're running late, we're low on ammo, and there's no time to call for reinforcements. Whichever way you slice it, we won't be going into this meet at our best. When we roll up on the meeting site, be ready. We may need to lead the element of surprise if negotiations go south. Agreed. That ambush was more than a little convenient. You know, I couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, next up is to pile in the vans, but unfortunately, like I said, we are out of time for this episode, so I'm gonna have to end it off there for today. If you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content, don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload, or to hit the straw poll link to vote for our next Let's Play. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.